Welcome to VOCARE. Today I'm going to tell you the inspiring story of Sister Esmeralda Razo. She is a local superior with the Sister Servants of the Blessed Sacrament.
Y por eso hoy, Señor, yo quiero desgastar mi vida en bendecirte y ser alabanza de tu gloria, porque has hecho obras grandes en mí, porque todo en mí son tuyo, todo te lo debo a ti, porque son mi misma vida, mi respiro, mi sentir, porque sé que todo.
When I was a young girl, like 16 years old, I was in a youth group in Mexico, and we went to a retreat. And I saw sisters that were in a class, in a cloister.
Yes.
And they were only dedicated for adoration. And I said, I wanted to be like them, because that's the second religious person that I saw. I saw my priest, now I saw a lady. And that's when I said, I can be like her. But then I went to my school, the sister servants, and I said, no, I wanted to be like them. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be involved in the community with the students. And that's when I found that it was more or less a vocation that God was calling me.
Okay. So, and then when you met that religious nun, did you have an opportunity to meet with her and speak to her? No.
I just saw
it was
her.
Just a
she was a
visual.
Carmelite or Capuchina Sacramentaria in Mexico. And I just saw her. And it inspired me. And I started to cry, and I keep crying all the way when I went to my house, when I was coming back to my house. And I just said, this is what God is calling me to. Then I knew the sister servants, they asked me that question, would you like to become a sister? And I said, how do you know that I wanted to be a sister? And I said, yes, sure. Tell me what I need to do. And they just said, this is the first step. You need to go to a retreat. And then you need to decide. If your parents say yes, you join. And then from there, you have 4 years for formation. You profess. You have another 6 years for your final vows. And from there, you fly for whatever community God will leave you. We are in Mexico, United States. And now we are in Peru. We are in Guatemala. And we are in Chile.
Sister, can you recall any layperson that you met that actually gave you some sort of inspiration or encouragement?
Yes, when I was in second grade, my teacher was one of my encourages me to be a good person, a child of God, because we were in a little town. Even though I was in a Catholic school, but she was a very faithful Catholic to taught us how to be good disciples of Jesus, even though it was public school, but in a little town, the religion was kind of allowed because it's a hometown. She was the one that taught me how to serve others, how to be faithful, and how to participate in every single activity that was going in my school. So also these little things here in second and third grade build up what I became now.
Wow.
And I always remember my second grade teacher.
Oh, what a nice story for her to hear.
Yes, she has been a great impact that I'm very grateful for her. And I thank God for her gift. She took me to her hometown when I was in her classroom, and she cared for me, and that's what I cared. So that's a lesson for me to care for others, how I'm treating my students, how I'm treating whoever is around me.
What a great example she was.
Yeah, so that was part of religious life too, even though she wasn't a sister, but she was a lay person that was in a single life.
Mm-hmm. So we can all do that for someone else.
Yes, single life, marriage, and religious life, no matter what vocation you are, but the most important that you live to the fullest, that you show your happiness, and no matter how hard it is, God is always with us, and we are not alone. And we are like brothers and sisters in different vocations, but one Lord, one people. And like Ruth, it says we are following the Lord. Wherever He goes, I will go. And that's what we ask everybody in this world, to follow what the Lord has them to do, and do it well, and do it for Him, and make a difference.
Make a difference. Right.
Like, go make a difference. You can make a difference. Go make a difference in the world.
Sister Esmeralda, can you tell me how old you are and what led you up to think about considering being a religious sister? What led to that vocation?
Yes, I believe I was in 3rd grade.
Wow.
Before I prepared for my first communion, I started to play that I was a priest.
Oh.
And I celebrated the whole Mass. I knew all the parts of the Mass, and I celebrated sacraments.
Wow.
I believe that was at the age of 9, my first gold.
So what made you think about doing that? I mean, how were you rooted in the church to even consider that?
Well, my mom was working in the catechism program.
Okay.
And I didn't like going to catechism, but I think that I was running away from God.
Wow.
And I knew I was very close to God because I went to church every weekend. And what I saw the priest celebrating the sacraments, especially the gift of Mass. And from there, I said I wanted to be like the priest. I didn't see any religious sisters before because I grew up in a little small town.
Oh, okay. So what happened when you found out you couldn't become a priest?
Well, I was a little bit sad because I said I like it to be a priest. I wanted to celebrate Mass and especially the sacraments of marriage, First Communion, baptism. In my playtime, I baptized all the dolls. I had the godparents, and then I celebrated the sacrament of marriage, the priesthood.
Oh.
I didn't celebrate a religious life because it wasn't a sacrament, but I celebrated most of the sacraments that I was able to do as a little girl. When I entered, I was 20 years old, but I found it out at the age of 16 that I wanted to become a sister servant of the Blessed Sacrament.
Oh, okay. So you were then exposed to somebody.
Yes, by then I was studying with the sister servants, the career of accounting, and it's like helping the bookkeepers in the community, like in La Barca, Jalisco, Mexico.
Okay.
That was part of the jobs that we were able to encounter, or that was the jobs that we may work with.
Sister, can you tell me the reaction of your family members when you told them that you wanted to become a religious?
For me, I was first thinking how I was going to tell them that I wanted to become a sister with the sister servants. And my first step was I attended a retreat in May of 1986. And when the sisters joined the convent, it was August. So I only have from May to August to let my parents or my family know. I was worried because I need to become a sister right away when I went to the retreat. And I didn't, the Reverend Mother said, what do you think about your parents? Are they going to allow you to come to this convent? And I said, sure, they will. But deep in my heart, I said, they don't know. So when I was coming back to my hometown, I started thinking, how am I going to tell my mom? Because my dad he already was dead by then. It was only my mother. And I was too worried. But when I arrived home, they welcomed me and they have my favorite dinner and flowers. And they started to ask me, how was your retreat? And I said, oh, it was beautiful. They taught me about religious life, marriage, and single life. And my little sister said, what do you like about? And I said, the one that I like, it was religious life. And then she said, Mother, are you going to let her to become a nun? And my mother looked at me and she said, of course, she wants that. That was going to make her happy. It's okay. And I was like, oh, finally.
Oh, wow, that was great.
So God helped me, because whenever He calls, He gives you a hand to solve those problems. When I received my ring, and the bishop was, because the bishop, he places a ring. He says, you are the wife of Jesus forever, and he places, yes, I just felt so happy. Like I said, wow, I will be the wife of Jesus forever. I hope that He helps me to be faithful, and here I am.
So so it's like when you receive the ring, it's like getting married in a sense, but it's not considered a sacrament like holy orders.
No, it's a commitment to God through the vows of obedience, chastity, and poverty. And those means that we are connected to the church in the service, whatever our charism is. For us, is adoration and education. So it means a sacrament. It's not a sacrament, but it's an act of loving God through service. Our congregation was born in 1904, so it's going to be like 112 years this November 25th. And what he said, I want my sisters to be like the ones that transmit the love of Jesus through education.
Oh, okay.
And why? Because the way he started our congregation was one night when he just retired to sleep. The following morning, when he came to the little chapel in Ciudad Guzman, Jalisco, he found that the tabernacle was broken.
Wow.
And so the hosts were on the floor, and the chalice was gone. And you know, in Mexico, many of those vessels, they are golden.
Yes.
And the thief was thinking that he was going to get some money from there. But Father Silviano was so sad that they didn't have this faith formation. And then he invited all the people to start adoring the Lord and making up for what the thief did. And people brought candles, and they were young ladies offering candles. And when he saw the young ladies, he said, oh, what about if those ladies, they become real lamps in front of the Blessed Sacrament, and they can do both, adore the Lord and go and teach this love to the little children. The way I lead my charism, first, I am a teacher at St. Patrick Academic. It's a regional Catholic school that we started in 2010. And Bishop Soro wanted to have this goal to connect some of the schools that were closed here in Sacramento and to start a new project. I have been in the school for 6 years since we began. And the way we live adoration, we have adoration also in our schools. Sister Anita helps with the program. We have it once or twice a month. And also here in the convent, we have adoration daily. Every sister goes in their own time, but when it is precious, it's on Sunday because we have exposition of the Blessed Sacrament and we have turns for adoration.
Wow.
We also have the annual adoration, which we invite the whole community.
And what day is that?
The day is in November, close to the anniversary of our congregation, because our anniversary is on November the 25th.
Oh, okay.
And so we call whoever wants to come, and we have a great day whenever they come. That's with the Lord.
Yes. So in your 30 years of sisterhood, Can you tell me what brings you the greatest joy?
Just being with my students and teaching them the love of Jesus. There are those, especially when we are preparing for the sacrament of reconciliation and First Holy Communion. You can see how their faces radiate with the joy that they are receiving Jesus. Those are my precious moments and the aha moments that they have in my teaching life when they are able to solve their own problems. Say, oh, I know now what you are trying to explain to us. Those are, and when they are helping each other, when they are loving, when they are like discovering the gifts in other students, and when they are like building the kingdom of God, when they are building the love among themselves.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful. One of the things, too, I'd like to know is, okay, as a sister, and you're building this kingdom of God, and you're a spiritual mother. So you're a spiritual mother not just to the children, but to the people that you meet. What does that feel like for you? Because we consider you as a mother.
Yes, it feels like that. Like especially this morning, I was telling my students that one of my jobs is to teach them not only education, academics, but also their values, their manners. And I say, I'm like your mother at school, the one that leads you, the one that loves you, the one cares for you, the one that needs to tell you what is the direction that you need to follow. And for parents, also when they see me like a mother, I say, well, I'm just trying to help you to get to God someplace.
Sister, when we see priests, we see them perform the Mass. They give us the sacraments of reconciliation. They do the homilies, various aspects of the priesthood, that we can see visually. But a lot of times we don't always see the sisters doing what they do, and you teach, and so we don't see you particularly all the time doing the various things. So what can you tell me how do you promote the gospel?
Okay. In our case, during the weekdays, we have teaching. Sister Anita is a faith formation or campus ministry, and people see her preparing prayer services, preparing the masses. They see her doing all those things. Sister Lupita is a full-time student this year, so she goes to Sacramento State. Young people see her over there in the campus. So this is a little like a living sacrament there, like a living sign because the sacrament is the life of Jesus within us. That's why I say she goes to the university, and that's the way she gives testimony of religious life. That's how other people see her. And for me, the students, parents, teachers, and all the administrative team at St. Patrick or at St. Rose, the parishioners see me there daily for the masses. And that's how I do my charism, just being who I am, saying good morning, how are you doing, how is your day, and just walking with them. Walking with whoever comes to our side and meet them and say.
So what's it like? What are people's reaction to you? What do you feel their reaction to you is?
Most of their reactions are positive. They believe in us. They are happy that we are still here, especially wearing our habit. It's very important for them. They thank us and say, thank you, sister, for wearing your complete habit, because we want to see sisters with habits. Nowadays, they don't wear it. And it really helps. Like they say, it's not probably a good idea to have it, but it really helps. One example is I was coming down from Los Angeles, and I stopped to buy food, and it was a young couple having lunch there, and they saw me waiting, and they just came and said, sister, we will pay for you, please.
Wow.
We attended Catholic schools. We know how hard you work, and you deserve it, and happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, how nice.
So it was, and not only that time, many, they are kind to us. Oh, please, sister, accept this. So please.
a lot of respect.
Yes.
And they can see you living your life as a sister.
And I don't think that they are scary or they are scared. They are just like, they just see us and they feel happy to see us. And they say, oh, you represent God, so please say a prayer for me. Would you please keep me in your prayers and pray for this need that I have.
So yeah, you're sticking out of the regular people. They can actually see you, somebody different.
Yes.
This is someone, because people will see us and we're walking around. They don't know we're walking with God. Sometimes we are, sometimes we aren't. But we see you visually and we know you're walking with God.
Yes. For instance, at school, when I have yard duty at recess, and I carry my lunch bell, sometimes my lunch bag, and the students always go, what do you have in there? Do you have a little snack? And I provide whatever I have. By the end of the day, my lunch bell is empty but happy. Like before I left school today, one of my little students was like, do you have Mexican bread? Do you have tortilla? And I said, I didn't bring any of those things today, but maybe tomorrow, come back, please. So that's when it comes like at the motherhood aspect.
Con amor eterno me has amado, antes de nacer tú me has llamado, llegaste a mi vida y la has llenado, de tu amor, tu gracia y tu luz, y por eso hoy, Señor, yo quiero desgastar mi vida en bendecirte y ser alabanza de tu gloria, porque has hecho obras grandes en mí.
Sister Esmeralda, I'd like to quote something that Holy Father Pope Francis has said in regards to the religious life. Consecrated persons are signs of God in diverse environments of life. They are leaven for the growth of a more just and fraternal society, prophesy of sharing with the little and the poor. As such understanding and experience, the consecrated life appears to us just as it really is, a gift of God. He went on to say, they are leaven that carry the people of God forward. Do you feel the importance of carrying the people forward? And is it a gift of God?
It is a gift, because wherever you are we are like honey. We attract people, and our goal is not only to keep it with us, to lead them to start a newer relationship with God, with Mary, with our whole Holy Trinity, and invited them to live as the children of God that they are, like practicing their values, like making a difference in this world and connecting what our Pope Francis is telling us in every single encyclical and every single message. Wherever we have an opportunity, we connect our Pope to our daily lives. And as a religious sister and as a teacher at school, this is my job, to let the little ones know how much God loves them and that we are stewards of God's earth. And we are in charge of this beautiful planet that sometimes we're not making that very beautiful because of our behaviors or what is suffering in our society. But we are the ones that make the difference. And we are the ones that start step by step, not dreaming, but working in little steps. Because we may dream big, but then don't work.
Right.
So that will be little steps to build this world a better place and make it our reality.
And your religious life is a gift from God.
It is a gift from God. It's a call from God, and it is our responsibility to respond. Freely we are called, and freely we may respond. And God calls and calls and calls, but He respects our decisions. First thing that I will ask them to spend a little bit more time in prayer, because in prayer is when we silence ourselves and we listen to God's call. God calls us to 3 different vocations: marriage, single life, and religious life. And in prayer, that's when we hear. Then attend to the masses, to retreats, to prayer services, and involve with the youth. And also come to us and ask us questions. If you wanted to become a priest, go to the priest and say, what can I do? If you wanted to be a sister, come to us, and not only me as a sister servant, but you can visit other sisters or other communities and always bring your need and say, this is what I want, and we can help them. The most important gift for me as a sister is that it was a vocation that nobody can take it away from me. This fidelity that God has for me is forever, and here I am trying to be faithful till the end.
In our world today, there are so many things that can be taken away from us. But as Sister Esmeralda says, your vocation is a gift from God, and it can never, ever be taken away from you. So let us live by Sister Esmeralda's example by promoting the gospel with our lives and go make a difference in this world. Please keep Sister Esmeralda in your prayers, along with all of our religious men and women, all of our priests, and us here at Shalom World TV. We will continue to keep you in our prayers, and until our next vocation story, please remember to remain in God's peace.